Welcome to Everything with Everett. This is a talk show podcast hosted by Everett McConaughey. The purpose of this production is to share thoughts, voices, and information to further a discussion on who we are as individuals, communities, and a global society. Everything with Everett is open to all topics of discussion: faith, science, history, finances, social issues, and, well, everything. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe. Visit everettpodcast.com for all the details.
Greetings, I am back with you. You have pressed play, and I thank you. So today is Election Day, November 5th, 2024. Thank you for voting. Thank you for considering your options and voting your conscience. I want to talk about our voting system. Currently in America, we are all familiar with the Electoral College. I did a episode on that about how you get to vote, and then there are people that are, vote theoretically a portion of your vote in a smaller demographic. But another option that came to mind through conversations with Jeremy, my husband, he mentioned ranked choice voting, and it intrigued me. And I thought maybe you would enjoy learning some more about ranked choice voting. I certainly don't know much about it, but it's a newer concept that has been increasingly deployed throughout the world, and maybe something we should consider, since technology has circumvented what we've already invented, because we don't rely on horses anymore to get from one side of the country to the other. We don't travel out west via the Oregon Trail anymore. We fly. We hire movers. We have interstates. Our country has developed so far from the original days of a best practice that we still use. So here is some information about ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting is an electoral system in which voters rank candidates by preference, first, second, third, etc., rather than voting for a single candidate. If no candidate wins the majority of the first preference votes, the candidate with the fewest first choices is eliminated. The votes for that candidate are transferred to the voters' next choices. This process continues until a candidate earns more than 50% of the vote. What are the benefits of ranked choice voting over a popular vote or electoral college? Greater voter representation. Ranked choice voting ensures that the winner reflects the majority preference, which may better represent the will of the voters. It helps prevent the candidate from winning with only a small plurality in multi-candidate races. It reduces the spoiler effect. In traditional voting systems, third-party or less popular candidates can split votes, leading to a winner that doesn't have the majority support. With ranked choice voting, voters can rank their true preference without the fear of wasting a vote, since their secondary choices still count if their first choice is eliminated. It discourages negative campaigning. Candidates benefit from being ranked second or third by the opponent's supporters. This can promote a more civil and cooperative campaigning, as many candidates seek broader appeal beyond their core base. Greater choice. Voters can express support for a wider range of candidates without the pressure of without the pressure to strategically choose only between the front runners. This allows for more diverse candidates, including independents and third-party contenders. It addresses gerrymandering. While ranked choice voting doesn't directly combat gerrymandering, the manipulation of district boundaries, it can make races in gerrymandered districts more competitive in ensuring winners have broader support, potentially mitigating its effects. Implementation after Electoral College system. Transitioning from an Electoral College system to a ranked choice vote would involve substantial structural and legal changes at all levels of government. At the county and local level, pilot programs, counties could introduce a ranked choice voting for local elections, such as city councils or school boards. Some U.S. cities like San Francisco and Minneapolis already use ranked choice voting in local elections. Educational campaigns would be needed to ensure voters understand how ranked choice voting works, and local governments would need to conduct public education campaigns, informing voters on how to rank candidates and the benefits of the system. And we would need to be updating our voting systems. Counties would need to upgrade voting machines and software to accommodate ranked choice voting, vote counting processes. This involves ensuring machines can handle multiple choice ballots and the process rounds of elimination. At the state level, legislation would be needed. States would need to pass laws allowing for ranked choice voting in state elections. An example would be a gubernatorial or state legislature race. Maine became the first U.S. state to adopt ranked choice voting for state elections in 2016. Gradual implementation. Ranked choice voting could be rolled out in stages, starting in primaries or small races and scaling to statewide elections once systems are in place. Aligning with federal law. In some cases, states may need to align their election laws with federal guidelines to ensure compliance, especially if ranked choice voting is expanded to federal elections like Senate races. At the national level, constitutional amendments. A national ranked choice voting system would likely require an amendment to the U.S. Constitution, especially to abolish the Electoral College. Amending the Constitution is a complex process that requires two-thirds majority in both houses of Congress. It requires two-thirds majority in both houses of Congress and ratification by 3/4 of the state legislatures. State-by-state reform. An alternative approach is that states could choose to adopt a ranked choice voting individually while maintaining the Electoral College, using ranked choice voting to allocate their electoral votes. If enough states opted in, this could effectively replace the Electoral College system for presidential elections without needing a constitutional amendment. National Popular Vote Compact. This is an agreement between states to award their electoral votes to the candidate who wins the national popular vote. While not yet law in enough states to take effect, coupling this idea with ranked choice voting could allow for a more democratic presidential election system without fully eliminating the Electoral College. Overcoming challenges. Public acceptance. Moving away from a traditional voting system can be met with resistance due to unfamiliarity. Clear, widespread voter education and communication campaigns are essential. Political resistance. The Electoral College benefits certain political groups and states, and transitioning to a national ranked choice voting system could face significant opposition. Logistical costs. Implementing a ranked choice voting system requires updating voting infrastructure, training election officials, and developing systems for complex vote counting processes. This could be costly, but in the long term, benefits of a more representative system might outweigh the initial expenses. In conclusion, ranked choice voting can offer a more representative, inclusive, and fair system of voting compared to both popular vote and electoral college models. However, its adoption at the national level would require considerable legal, practical, political, and logistical changes. Now, I want to go further and, what governments have successfully used ranked choice voting? And the list was bigger than I thought. Several governments around the world, as well as various U.S. cities and states, have successfully implemented ranked choice voting. Here are some key examples. Australia. Their federal elections. Australia has used a form of ranked choice voting called preferential voting for its House of Representatives since 1918. In this system, voters rank candidates in order of preference, and seats are awarded through a process similar to ranked choice voting. State and local elections. Several Australian states use ranked choice voting for state elections. It is also commonly used in local government elections across the country. Number 2, Ireland. Presidential elections. Ireland uses ranked choice voting for presidential elections. It allows voters to rank candidates, and votes are transferred from the least popular candidates until one achieves a majority. Parliamentary elections in Ireland. The country uses a single transferable vote, or STV system, a form of ranked choice voting, to elect members of parliament in multi-seat constituencies. Number 3, New Zealand. Local elections. Ranked choice voting is used in local elections, particularly for city councils. The system is called STV, similar to Australia and Ireland, and is used in some cities and districts for mayoral elections as well. The United Kingdom, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Scottish local elections. Since 2007, local elections in Scotland have used a version of ranked choice voting called STV to elect members of municipal councils. Northern Ireland Assembly. Northern Ireland uses STV for elections to its legislative assembly, local councils, and European Parliament elections, while the UK was part of the European Union. Number 5, in the United States, Maine. In 2016, Maine became the first U.S. state to adopt a ranked choice voting system for statewide elections, including gubernatorial and congressional races. Maine has also used a ranked choice voting for presidential elections since 2020. Alaska. Alaska adopted a ranked choice voting in 2020 and used it in the 2022 election cycle. Voters rank candidates in primary and general elections, and winners are determined through the ranked choice process. Several cities in the U.S. have adopted a ranked choice voting for local elections, including San Francisco, California, Minneapolis, Minnesota. New York City used ranked choice voting for the first time in 2021 mayoral primary election. Santa Fe, New Mexico, Portland, Maine, and Oakland, California. Continuing on the list of countries that utilize a form of ranked choice voting, Malta, number 6. Malta uses a form of ranked choice voting called the single transferable vote, STV, as you've heard in other countries, for parliamentary elections. This system is used to elect members of Maltese House of Representatives. India, for indirect elections. While India uses a first past the post system for most direct elections, the country uses RCV, ranked choice voting, for some indirect elections, including the election of president, vice president, and members of the, I'm going to butcher this, Rajya Sabha, RAJYA, and the next word, SABHA. It's the upper house of parliament. Number 8, New Zealand and Scotland university elections. Several universities in countries like New Zealand and Scotland use ranked choice voting for student government elections, promoting the use of the system in more grassroots decision-making contexts. Some notable benefits seen in these regions. Reduction of spoiler candidates. In Maine, ranked choice voting has helped mitigate the spoiler effect, where a third-party candidate can split votes and alter election outcomes. Increased voter engagement. Cities like Minneapolis have seen higher voter participation as ranked choice voting allows for more meaningful choices and voters feel their preferences matter. More civil campaigning. In places like Ireland and Australia, candidates often campaign more positively to appeal to a broader segment of the electorate, knowing they need a second or third choice vote to win. Overall, ranked choice voting has proven effective in providing a fairer representation, reducing polarization, and enhancing voter choice in these regions. And now you are in the know about ranked choice voting and how it might actually bring everybody back to enjoying politics and caring about our future instead of these increasingly divisive, drawn-out, toxic campaigns that we've witnessed in recent decades. Oh, to go back to civility. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, well, happy Election Day. I'm so glad you voted. I know that I voted. I'm sure you did as well. If you didn't, shame on you. All right, well, you have a great one. Let's sit back and see who won our popular vote and the much needed electoral vote to see who gets officially voted in on January 6th, 2025. Who will the next president be? Kamala Harris or Donald J. Trump? Stay tuned, we'll find out.
Thank you for listening to Everything with Everett. Connect with Everett and other listeners on Facebook and Twitter at Everett Podcast. Everett would love to hear from you. Share your thoughts by emailing mystory@everettpodcast.com. You can also leave a voicemail or send a text message to 208-391-2808. Choose to listen, speak with kindness, and have a great day.